This is a guide for you to follow when you change your glucose sensor. If you are inserting a glucose sensor into someone else, please refer to the Enlite Sensor user guide for additional instructions. Please note, if you have never used a glucose sensor before and have not been trained by your healthcare provider or Medtronic certified product trainer on how to use the sensor feature, do not insert the sensor until you have attended your in-person training. These are the sites that are commonly recommended for inserting the sensor. Sensor performance may differ when other insertion sites are used. Choose a place on your body that has adequate fatty tissue, is 2 inches from your navel, is 2 inches from your insulin pump infusion site, is 3 inches from any manual insulin injection site. For best glucose sensor performance, avoid sites where clothing may rub or constrict, for example, your belt line. Sites where your body naturally bends a great deal. Sites that are scarred or have hardened tissue or stretch marks. Be sure to rotate your sensor sites so you avoid tissue damage that could occur from overuse. When you are ready to change your sensor, gather the following supplies: an Enlite glucose sensor, an Enlite Sensor, a transmitter that has been fully charged, an alcohol wipe, an Enlite Sensor overtape, sharps container. Wash your hands before you begin. To remove the Enlite sensor you are currently wearing, peel the white tab of tape off the transmitter so that you can disconnect the mini-link transmitter from the glucose sensor. Disconnect the sensor from the transmitter by holding down the sensor with one hand and the transmitter with the other. Gently pinch the flexible arms of each side of the sensor as you pull the transmitter away from the sensor. Now peel off the transparent sensor overtape. Next, loosen the sensor adhesive by lifting up the white tape tab. Remove the sensor from your body. Discard the sensor in a sharps container. Place the transmitter back in the charger so it can recharge. Clean the selected insertion site with an alcohol wipe and let the skin dry before inserting the sensor. Do not use any other product or tape on the site before sensor insertion. Open the sensor package. The glucose sensor is attached to a plastic pedestal. Remove the sensor from the package, holding it by the pedestal. Place the pedestal on a flat surface, such as a table. Push the Sensor down onto the pedestal until the base of the Sensor sits flat on the table. To detach the Sensor from the pedestal, place 2 fingers on the pedestal arms and slowly pull the Sensor straight up. Do not detach the pedestal from the Sensor in mid-air. Doing so might damage the sensor. Place the base of the Sensor flat against your skin at the insertion site you selected and cleaned with the alcohol wipe. Warning: never point a loaded Sensor toward any body part where insertion is not desired. To insert the sensor, complete the following 4 steps. Press the button in and then release. The Sensor injects the sensor when the button is released. It's important not to pull the Sensor away from your skin quite yet. Wait 5 seconds to allow the adhesive time to stick to the skin. Then press and hold in the button. This second button press is required to detach the Sensor from the sensor. Slowly lift the Sensor away from the skin. To remove the insertion needle, gently hold the base of the sensor against the skin to ensure your glucose sensor stays secured. Hold the needle housing at the top and slowly pull straight out, away from the sensor. The needle will automatically retract inside the plastic needle housing. Discard the entire piece into a sharps container. If you are removing the needle housing from someone other than yourself, please see the user guide for additional instruction. Note: if bleeding occurs at your insertion site, apply steady pressure using sterile gauze or a clean cloth for up to 3 minutes. While holding the sensor in place, gently lift the adhesive tab. Carefully remove the bottom piece of white paper from under the adhesive pad. Press the adhesive against the skin. Apply the transparent overtape to the sensor. Be careful not to cover the adhesive tab or sensor connectors with the overtape. After the glucose sensor has been inserted for at least 5 minutes, connect the transmitter to the glucose sensor. First, remove your transmitter from the charger and watch for the green light to flash. Place a finger on the sensor base. Hold the transmitter with your other hand, push it onto the sensor base. It will click when it is connected. The green light on the transmitter will start flashing within 20 seconds. It will flash for approximately 10 seconds and then turn off. If necessary, use a mirror to see the green light. If the light on the transmitter does not flash, disconnect it from the sensor and recharge it using the charger. After the transmitter is connected to the glucose sensor and the green light has flashed, remove the paper backing from the white tab and place the adhesive tab over the transmitter. You are now ready to start the 2-hour initialization period. To do this, go to the Sensor Edit Settings menu on your insulin pump and select the Link to Sensor feature. Press Act from the home screen. In the main menu, select Sensor and press Act. On the Sensor menu, select Link to Sensor and press Act. Select New Sensor and press Act. The new sensor screen tells you to connect the new sensor to the transmitter. Do this now if your sensor is not already connected. Then press Act. Press Act again when the Sensor Ready message appears. You have now completed your sensor insertion. Your pump will alert in about 2 hours when it is time to enter a blood glucose value for your first calibration.